Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Finally getting around to doing my 2024 room tour. I've been kind of holding off on this year, not even holding off. My phone just wasn't uploading properly and all of that. And I'm one of those people that holds on to my iPhone to the very end. I mean, I just got rid of my iPhone 8, so that shows how long I've had that thing. But finally got a new phone, everything's working, so I'm able to actually shoot a room tour. So I'm just going to kind of go around and do a general tour of the room, maybe give some specifics about some things, and just show you my up-to-date room tour. One thing I thought I would kind of add to is oftentimes when I watching room tour videos, I'm always kind of curious about like what do people really like about their room, like if there's something they really value or something like that. And I'm just always kind of curious about that. So I thought as I kind of went around, maybe I would share two or three things that I'm really kind of, you can say, happy about, or I wouldn't say proud about, but just more kind of like this is something I really value in my room tour. So, or in my room in general. So let's just kind of dive right in. We start with the entryway right down here. Steps going down, you just kind of have a lot of basic artwork. Um, some stuff from concerts, like the bandanas and stuff like that. Few albums on the wall. The only albums I put on the wall that are in frames like this are albums that are autographed, and I only collect autographed albums that were signed specifically for me. So I would never get on like eBay and just buy like just a random signed album, even if it was certified and everything. If it wasn't signed specifically for me, it just doesn't have much value to me. So anyway, so nice little collage there. Actually picked this one up. I was at a record show and a guy just had that hanging off the edge of his table just to kind of decorate his table. It wasn't even for sale. And I was like, dude, would you be interested in selling that? That's kind of cool. And gave it to me for $10 and just kind of makes a nice art piece. Stain bandana there when I saw them in concert. Some of my autographed CDs, including a couple of VC members in there. A lot of kitty stuff there. This is kind of just a piece of artwork that I had, and about a year or two ago, I just thought it'd be kind of fun where people who come visit me and kind of come down to the music room, I have them sign that. Just kind of a nice little fun piece to remember people who have stopped by. Frankie Valley tour book, autographed Overkill, and just kind of more artwork, as you can see there. Just posters and stuff. Little Pat Benatar, Thin Lizzy, Maiden, and of course you saw Master up there. And the first thing you come to when you come down the steps, you start off here with my metal section, which is right here. Um, yeah, so I'll kind of go into the records here in a minute, but you have some 3D artwork there with the guitars, some stuff we used to sell at the shop, and then more autographed records up top, including one of my favorites, which is that Melvin's Houdini original pressing of that I got signed by Buzz and Dale when I met them. And if you kind of swing back over here, this is where you kind of have my Godsmack tribute wall, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Godsmack's my favorite band, so just some of the different things I have by them, which is awesome. Set list, autographed copy by Sully, autographed CDs, a picture of Sully and I when I met him out in Boston. So just kind of stuff like that. And then this right here, which is really cool too. I definitely want to show this. Awesome piece of VCLT that I got. A Headbangers Ball, kind of a DVD set with a ton of all the episodes. And this thing was homemade. I mean, that's pretty freaking awesome. The box and everything. So really, really cool piece. Definitely one of the coolest pieces of VCLT I've ever gotten. All right, so then you swing back around here. Like I said, this is my metal section here. But I kind of give maybe a quick pan of the room from this angle, right there. So maybe kind of, doing this overall view. One of the first things I would say that I really like about my music room is that there's no dead space in my music room. I feel like everywhere you turn, like every corner, every nook and cranny, there's something musical there. There's some positive memory. There's some cool something related to music everywhere you turn inside of my music room. And so I really like the fact that I don't have any dead space. Um, So, so yeah, I've always kind of tried to decorate my rooms that way, and then I find a lot of value in it. So we'll start over here. So I already kind of showed the posters. You have some CDs here. This is all hard rock, hard alternative, grunge, and metal right through here. And this is kind of sitting right here with albums of the exact same genre: hard rock, grunge, hard alternative, glam, and then going right into metal throughout here. Little skull and crossbones that I have on the front of there, just kind of a little fun thing that I decided to do with this section. I actually got those a couple years ago at one of those Dollar Tree stores. They're all they are is just those little fences that they sell for Halloween. I think they're like $1.49 each for that one piece. And I just kind of took the little spikes that go in the ground. I just took those off, and you bought 4 of them. You spend $6, $7, and you have a really cool little effect there. Now, as you can see with most of my albums, they are in the top flip bins, right? So with all these Calyx that I have, um, some of them expedits, they're so old. Uh, obviously, there's nothing sitting in there, so I just take advantage of that space by utilizing albums as artwork. So you have those little easels that you can buy at Walmart for a buck or so, and it's just kind of a nice way to use your albums to display as artwork. All right, so then as you're kind of going into the room here, let's see, let's start. Why don't we kind of just start straight ahead? So the first thing you kind of see there is, a row of vinyl, as well as the wow wall. I mean, that's what we call, the walls typically is wow walls. I don't keep a lot of wow on my wall. What I typically do is every 3 weeks or so, I'll just kind of go in and rotate what's up there. And I just kind of pick a random theme that night and just kind of have fun digging through my collection, grabbing stuff based on that theme. So as you can kind of see here pretty clearly, last time the theme was just album covers that were similar. So you can kind of have like, Sammy Hagar and Wild Cherry over there, Def Leppard, the XX, Fiona Apple and Sinead O'Connor, of course Neil Young and Stone Temple Pilots, and yeah. So this is kind of how I rotate stuff around just to take advantage of artwork, and I'm swapping that out all the time, and it's just kind of a fun way to do it. Oh, you have a lot of those little metal, those tin things, whatever you call them. Again, just very simple decorations to utilize. And really from this row kind of straight down, this is just all 60s all the way through 2000s, with a lot of subgenres kind of broken out in between. So, you have like folk, 70s soft rock, psych, progressive, disco, classic rock, garage rock, 80s alternative, 80s new wave, 80s pop, 80s ladies new wave, 80s ladies pop, on down the line through the 2000s. So that's what that is. Uh, Down here, just stuff that's waiting to be spun. So that's kind of stuff that's on deck. And small TV here, just to have one down here. Boxes where I kind of keep some of my nice stuff, if you will. Just stuff I kind of value in my collection. Sealed copy of Ozzy Scream, Dido Life for Rent, White Label Promo, The Stooges, OG of A Love Supreme, Led Zeppelin RL, Motley Crue leather pressing. So just some cool stuff like that. Beautiful copy of OG Balance and so forth. So that's just why I keep some of those, just as a little bit of extra protection. Swing around this way. Step back a little bit. So you have another wall over here where you basically have my 45s, CD long boxes down below, more random artwork, and I also have some artwork up here. I shouldn't say artwork, but just kind of little banners up here on the ceiling. Grand Funk, Depeche Mode, and NWA over there. And then when you swing over here, you can kind of see my main stereo system in here, which again, decent setup, especially considering maybe this is kind of another place to talk about one of the second things that I really kind of like about my music collection is you'll see, like, you'll kind of see all the albums, there's still more in the other room and stuff down the line. And it looks like I have like a ton. And I mean, I do have a lot of albums, but when you really get down to it, if I had two 5x5 cubes from IKEA, I could fit almost every record that I have just on those two 5x5s. So I really have stuff kind of spread out, and again, kind of taking advantage of just filling in the space and making every inch of it musical. The other thing too is that I really like the fact that I have not spent a lot of money in putting together kind of my musical life, if you will. Um, and I think about that with the stereo here because it's kind of a great example. Here you have the two Pioneer HPM 100s. I actually got those for free because the gentleman I got the house from, he gave those to me, as well as the Pioneer 707 reel to reel. He gave me that too, still in the box in just fantastic working condition. Turntable wise, have a JVC Q05 with a 2M blue cartridge on there. I actually traded some records to get that, as well as the Kenwood 500 with a Denon moving coil cartridge on this one. I traded in one of my old turntables and a couple records to get that one as well. And then, of course, my Project Phono Stage, which is a nice little tube phono preamp. And it's nice too because it has, not only does it have two inputs, but it also has the ability to go moving coil or moving cartridge. So it's easy to have both those turntables hooked up at the same time. Power there is a Sansui G5000. Picked that up long before all this stuff started getting crazy expensive. I think I got that off of Craigslist for like $125 like 10, 12 years ago. Nagamichi LX3, and then my Cambridge Audio 351C turntable, CD player. So that's kind of the main stereo system here. And like I said, when I just kind of look over the years in terms of the actual amount of money that I put into it, it's been kind of very little because not only is it lucking out and getting some stuff for free, but a lot of those records that I was purchasing, especially like 12, 15 years ago, I was buying records probably at 10 times the rate I'm buying them now. And so I just gathered so much stuff back in the day. And when it all kind of shot up in price, I was able to utilize it to, get some of the equipment that I want and stuff of that nature. But anyway, let's kind of keep moving along. We'll start going down this hall. And why don't we start over here with the CDs? You have the CD wall right there. And CDs down here are organized basically the exact same way as my records. Same genres and stuff kind of going along this route. Then going down here and continuing. Those in the middle are just kind of, I'm sure a lot of us went to that burnt CD stage. We were like burning CDs left and right. Those are all the ones that I did burn, and I kind of kept them, which is another thing I really like about my collection. Is one of the reasons why I've built a lot of stuff is I have not gotten rid of things over the course of my lifetime at all. I mean, we can go over there to my cassette wall and I'll pull out the very first cassette I ever bought when I was in 5th grade, and most of the cassettes that I had in high school, and on and on and on. So um, sure, you go through a purge every now and then and blah blah blah, but I typically keep a lot of stuff, or all my stuff. The CD racks there, I got those from a FYE that was going out of business. So those were all just free. I just threw them in my car and took off. So those have come into play really well. Kind of skip over here. This is where you go into country, comps, and then just a bunch of artists with their own little individual dividers there, with another CD wall right there. And then right over here, you have my jazz section. So again, little display wall, jazz collection, not gigantic, but some nice tone poets in there, blue note section, general jazz section, and using some more albums as artwork down there, as well as smooth jazz and easy listening right over there. And then in this back corner here, you basically have your hip hop, R&B, country, reggae, and world is what you have back here. So here's your hip hop section. We have old school hip hop. It's going to be stuff like, Curtis Blow, Boogie Boys, Beasties, so forth, early Beasties. And then just kind of general rap and hip hop here, 50 Cent, Outkast, blah, blah, blah. So that's what you have there. And then this little center island right here, where you have your R&B starting at 60s, 70s R&B, 60s, 70s ladies. You have a little small stack section, Motown, funk, 80s R&B. Moving right along here, continuing 80s R&B, 90s R&B, blues, reggae, world, and country. So that's kind of what this section is. And then this is another great example about the not liking the dead space. So closet sitting right there, and instead of having that just big white patch of just two boring doors, I put up this nice big Pink Floyd blanket. And still, it's kind of nice though, because if you need to get into the closet, you just grab the blanket, pull it up, open the door, set it right on top, and you're in the closet in 3 minutes, or sorry, 3 seconds. So considering I rarely go in there, that's a much better use, a much more beautiful use of that space. And then these shelves right here are some shelves that a neighbor made for me. He has all the woodworking stuff and he loves doing that. And so he put these together for me. And as you can kind of see, my cassette collection, all the little yellow, markers there you see are kind of the dividers for the different genres and everything. So kind of start with metal and just work your way down. And then of course, CD box sets. Having a little extra space, it's kind of nice to be able to display them like that, where you can really kind of, see them as opposed to just viewing the spines. Again, taking advantage of the artwork. Deluxe CDs right through there. And that's kind of this back room. Nice big kind of a tarp, whatever you want to call it, that I use instead of curtains. It's kind of boring, I think, so I'd rather have a big Jimmy up there. And that's kind of that back area. So then right over here, this is again, one of the recent things. Maybe I did this about maybe a year ago or so, but this is just kind of a huge kind of oak closet type of thing. And I took the door off and decided to make this my cleaning and processing room. So that is what this is. So when you come in here, you have inner sleeves, outer sleeves, and stuff like that right over here. Distilled water, of course, some more autograph records, and just kind of random little decorations up there on the shelves, along with a few Funko Pops, packaging and mailing material. Ultrasonic cleaner, got the spin clean, cleaning supplies and everything there. And then, of course, a drying rack and all of that. So a few records I cleaned last night. More supplies, which is like the stickers and, packaging tape and everything else that I use, kind of right there. And then over here, albums that are, on Discogs or stuff I need to get rid of and blah, blah, blah. And then just kind of a little place to store different random things. So that's kind of the cleaning room. And again, this kind of goes back to what I say about being able to put things together without having to spend a lot of money. I bought this house as is, so there was like a lot of furniture and stuff in here, so I didn't just throw everything away. So even the idea of putting this room together came because I saw all this stuff and had the idea because, the shelf was left here, those little, these little container type things were left here, the table, the chair, the little white table down there, this little dresser was left here, and I kind of painted it to make it look a little nicer. Heck, even that trash can was left here. So I just saw all of that and I was like, I could really do something with this stuff. And I decided to make a cleaning room there. So again, another great way to set up something kind of cool without really dishing out money. Over here, you come to soundtracks, including a separate section of my soundtracks there, which is why the 80s, you ask? And that's because this is all of just the awesome, amazing 80s stuff that just puts the biggest smile on my face. because there's nothing better than 80s soundtracks. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Love it to death. Uh, Over here in this section, you'll have a few coasters right there. And then again, more kind of albums being used as artwork down below. I don't think I showed this rug when I walked by earlier. Just kind of a nice little rug with, tons of bands, names, and logos on there. These are all just individual artists that have their own little dividers. So just, artists I decided to pull out because maybe I have a few records by them. Maybe I listen to them frequently and they're just kind of pulled out right there. And then it continues right over here. So what that is. And then over here you have all of my Digipack CDs. So I just kind of keep them separate from the jewel case CDs over there, just so that they don't get beat up as much. And it's so easy to bend those corners and all that type of stuff. And I like to keep those very neat and clean, which is another thing I would say that I like a lot about my collection. About 8 years ago or so, I did go through a purge where I decided to take everything out of my collection that wasn't in just fantastic condition and purge it. And I did that with CDs, I did that with vinyl and everything. So I do like the fact now that for the most part, you can walk anywhere in my collection at any moment and just pull out any album and it's going to be in pretty fantastic and clean condition, whether it's a reissue, whether it's an OG. Like it doesn't really matter. So that's something I really like about my collection, and it's something that I kind of stay pretty tight with stuff that I bring into the collection as well. And again, when I'm talking about keeping the cost down and everything else, not only did I accumulate most of my collection when you could walk into a store with $50 and come out with 25 records. Remember that wasn't more than maybe 12 or 13 years ago you could do that. So I gathered a lot of my collection during that time frame, thank goodness. But then also for the past 6 to 7 years, I've worked in some capacity at a record store and pretty much I only work strictly for store credit. So that's another way that I've been fueling a lot of stuff that I bring in again without spending money. So I mean, of course, your time there, but I hang out at the record store all the time anyway, so might as well get paid to hang out at the record store. So the last 6 or 7, yeah, about that long, maybe somewhere right around 7 years. A lot of what you've seen me show in my videos and stuff like that has all been from getting store credit at a couple of different record shops that I've worked at. Moving right along, you have a little CD rack here holding my MoFi CDs, as well as this little, whatever you want to call it, not shelf, but little, I guess, nightstand type of thing or whatever. I don't know. I saw it at a yard sale. It was only $2. So I grabbed it and again painted it to kind of match everything else. And it's just a place where I keep, just kind of random stuff. But fits in well there. That little CD rack, I got at a local store. It was just kind of sitting with a bunch of junk off in a corner. And I just asked the guys, like, hey, that little thing sitting over there, would you sell it? Gave it to me for a couple of bucks and makes a nice little display rack. Bathroom, Kiss Destroyer, shower curtain, and red and black towels, couple Kiss dolls, things of that nature. Again, trying to cover all the white spaces there. You got some autographed albums on the wall. Over here you have a small punk section and then autographed albums right there. And I think that's about it out here. So then the only other place is going to be this room right here, which is basically my office. So we can kind of take a scan as we walk in there. And this is the office. Again, kind of no dead space. So yeah, I really like that feeling. Like when you come in my music room, you are immersed in music everywhere and the entire time. So starting over here, just kind of another stereo system. A lot of pieces I've had for quite some time that just kind of come together to make a pretty decent system. Uh, Project Genie turntable, and then the Marantz 2275, and then the BMW 685 bookshelf speakers, which are really nice. Another wall that I just kind of rotate different things off of. And what I'm eventually going to do, I've been going to some yard sales and stuff like that. So I'm looking to find like a little sofa table to put right over here. I want to kind of make this like a tiny living room area. Again, I think that's more just kind of comforting and welcoming than like having like an actual office space. So I'm going to try to find like a little coffee table at a yard sale or something to put right there. Um, and then this wall over here, this is where I keep all of my box sets right here. All right. And basically what I've done over here, I know that's a 5x5 cube that I've had forever. And I just kind of set that one right in front of it to kind of make that give that little effect of the wall behind there. But what I basically did was all these boxes down below, these are all empty. Because I took all those records out and I sleeved them individually and put them up here just like the rest of my collection. Because I don't know if you found this as well, but I think sometimes even subconsciously, I wasn't going to my box sets to pull out albums to listen to just because, like I said, on some subconscious level, it was a little more tedious and I didn't want to take, the time or the energy or whatever else. And I definitely discovered when I pulled them all out and sleeved them individually like this, I ended up spinning stuff out of my box sets a lot more than I did before. So that's what all of these are. So you have all the David Bowie box sets sitting in order right here. Rap, hip hop, jazz, and R&B right through here. And then yeah, again, kind of pop rock and I mean, no Johnny Cash, but yeah, Cream, stuff like that. All the Genesis box sets right through there. Going into metal, you have like the Iron Maiden, metal hard rock, I should say. So you got the metal stuff, you got the stuff from the Ozzy box set, stuff from the Deep Purple and Rainbow box sets, and on and on. So yeah, definitely has me listening to stuff out of my box sets a lot more. Right up here, all of these box sets are my sealed box sets. So even the ones maybe where the shrink is off, like the new and the Motley Crue, Journal of the Dam, all the LPs inside are still sealed. And and yeah, I mean, I'm definitely one that I appreciate having sealed stuff sometimes. I just go with my gut. When I'm getting a lot of pleasure out of owning something that's sealed, then I own it, it's sealed, and it's great. The moment I want to open it, and I think I'll get more pleasure out of opening it, I will open it. But there's no hard rule on me about how long to keep something sealed or anything like that. Just whatever gives me pleasure out of that item or that particular piece is what I go with. And a lot of this stuff too, already have like OGs of everything, so it makes it easier as well. But yeah, I definitely just go off my gut with that. You have a few one steps here. I'm not really huge with those, but just over the years, these are some I've picked up from the shop. The Bowie box sets, I just showed you the albums are over there, just kind of there for decoration, as well as the doors and wall, so that's empty. But then these right here are box sets that still have the albums inside. Maybe for some reason the inner sleeves that they're in and all of that just weren't really conducive to individual sleeves, so I just kept those in the box, and so those are all the ones that still have albums inside. But that is my box set section, whatever you want to call it. Over here, these are all my homemade box sets. Again, another really fun thing that I like to do where I just find those old beat up carrying cases. You find them for $5, $10 here and there. And I just bring them home and spray paint them and decorate them with stickers and blah, 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 and just make my own box sets. So that's the White Zombie, Van Halen right there. The Black Sabbath one I made a while ago. There's stuff on the back too, but I want to pull all of them out. Depeche Mode is a fairly new one. I'm not quite done with that one yet. I just started working on it a little while ago, but that's a new one. AC/DC, Whitesnake, The Kiss, Linda Ronstadt back there, and that blue one is going to be. Just got this box at a record show a few weeks ago for like $5. But this is going to be my Motley Crue set. So that's what this one is going to be. So looking forward to painting that one and getting it all decorated. Just more artwork on the wall, a couple signed records. The Rush box set, Then you have all my record store day stuff I keep right over here. And then when you swing around this side, these are all my Japanese pressings. And then you have my Abbey Road Studio half-speed remasters, as well as the ABC half-speed remasters, and that last, not Q, but that last bin there. Analog Productions and MoFi and white label promos. Again, just kind of displaying some of the artwork down there below. And, my desk, which again was one thing that they left here. So that was another thing I didn't have to spend any money to get a desk down here. But yeah, so there you go, VC. That is pretty comprehensive tour of my current music room. Oh, did forget this down here. Walmart exclusives. Whenever I can find those really cheap, I like to grab them, as well as my Skechers Rolling Stone shoes there. I cannot bring myself to wear them. So maybe one day. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That is the current music room. If there's any specific things you'd like to know more details about, just kind of shoot me a message. Maybe I can do another video just to kind of go more into depth. I guess probably saw that in passing, but my couch with the pillows and a coffee table right there. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.